Me again. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly advise you watch and understand the prior video I released called You Don't Get What's Fair or Deserved. You Get What's Earned and Negotiated. As there is information in there that will help you better understand and comprehend this information so you can apply it in real world situations and scenarios in your own day-to-day life. If you're not understanding how and why certain behaviors and mindsets lead to corresponding outcomes and consequences, then you need to watch the prior video, as it will be referenced. If you still don't understand it after that, then there are still 3 ways that I can help you. Subscribe for more evolutionary psychology videos in the future, or book a one-on-one call with me so I can help you any way I can. We get so caught up in external pursuits and social perceptions. In other words, trying to achieve things that we see our peers achieving, getting things we've always been told we need or want by family and or friends in society, that we often neglect that the greatest drivers and predictors of happiness and life success, meaning achieving what you want and having the life you've always wanted for yourself, the greatest drivers and predictors of happiness and life success for a person are positive internal self-talk, which I will go into great detail about in future videos. But think titanium self-belief and delusional confidence, like I alluded to in the last video, and their world outlook state. In other words, how fair the individual perceives their world to be, their perceived place in the world to be, and their role in the world to be. So we will look at the major 5 stages of possible world outlooks in order, so you can better understand where you're at in terms of this chart, of your understanding of evolution and human nature. By understanding where you're at in this chart of evolution and human nature, you can then apply this information in the real world. Quick disclaimer though, I'm not telling you to change who you are. We all have unique interests and hobbies that make us who we are. And if you love your career, or there's something that brings you joy, like video games, fishing, hunting, Netflix, you name it, I'm not telling you to stop doing them altogether. However, what I am telling you to do is change the way you view the world and update your understanding of how people perceive value in the world. Therefore, you may need to change certain traits and idiosyncrasies within your behaviors so you come across as a more attractive, knowledgeable, and trustworthy person. Okay? Without further ado, let's start off with number 1 here. Naivety. Now, the main characterization of this is straight up obliviousness, and just oblivious to the rules of the world and human nature. Potentially because of ego and the realization of unattainable dreams, but more likely due to not recognizing that we are still creatures of evolution and need to treat ourselves and others as such. 2, bitterness. Sometimes an outright refusal to accept the rules of the world, but always anger, discomfort, in confusion with the world and its rules. Usually because while there is minimal understanding, there is pain. Because they know, the individual knows there is information they need that they're lacking to truly be who they want and get what they want. And of course, part of that is regret and remorse for past failures due to this lack of understanding. And this is a big part of what manifests this pain and anger. Number 3, acceptance. Now, those in the state of acceptance accept the rules of nature and humanity, but with a profound lack of motivation and desire to learn anything more than they have or become anything greater than they are. Just as bad and useless of a mindset as bitterness when it comes to productivity and changing yourself positively, because you underachieve and miss your potential in life in terms of your understanding of behavior. But it marks an understanding, a massive understanding point for an individual, because once you accept that things are what they are and you can't change it, you can finally begin to learn how to act properly. 4, gratitude. Gratitude means you're grateful for your life and the things you have, who you are. Because you're grateful, there is a high likelihood you will get what you want out of life because you're happy with what you have, which makes you consistent and stable. You need much less for the world to be happy, as you're confident with yourself and you're okay with being alone. 5, certainty. Now, certainty is bulletproof confidence and reassurance. A person who's certain has bulletproof confidence and reassurance within their place in the world, in society. They find immense meaning in the work they do or care they give to others. And because they are doing something they deem to be worthwhile or idyllic, they have a joyful and satisfied presence about them that is socially magnetic. Therefore, are better able to achieve their goals because now that they know who they are, and now they know exactly what they want, their goals will be easier to achieve due to a clear and happy mind. So, recap this. Bitterness is better than naivety. You're unhappy, but you finally see the world for what it is. This is your first step to making change. 2, acceptance is better than bitterness. You're accepting of your situation in the world, but you're also accepting of what you do have, so you're not bitter and you're more creative. Anger and bitterness and sadness, that is the enemy of creativity. That's its ultimate enemy. More on that in the future. Gratitude is better than acceptance. 3, your acceptance of the world and its rules can eventually turn to gratitude as your life improves. Can. If so, you become grateful for the things you do have and are now hopeful for the things that are on your horizon, because your life is growing with your spirit. Okay? And then 5, certainty being the highest form of them all. When you're certain, you understand this world. You know what you want to do on this world, and you know the type of person you want to be and the type of people you want to have around you. Therefore, you know the type of life you want to live. Because of this, people who are certain with their direction in life love it and are a joy to be around altogether. My wish for all of you, and promise to everyone who sticks with me on this journey, is to get you to a point of absolute certainty. I've tested and tinkered with different lifestyles and people in my life so many times that I'm certain of what I like. And this is the big one: how to get what I like. A lot of people know what they like, but it's tough to get it. And while I'm still a 24-year-old man with a lot of life to live, I have a good feeling what I want to do with my time to give back to the world and fulfill my purpose as a man to the world evolutionarily, which is tending to my kitchen and mastering what I love. Much more on that to come in future videos. At the very least, today, I urge you to leave the shackles of naivety. Explore my content further by viewing the earlier and later videos I've posted so you can start to see the human condition and human society for what it is. I know you and I can't control how your subconscious will react, and you might become upset and angry as the truths you'll find directly contradict what you may have been taught or picked up in the past. That's okay. Let yourself feel that pain. Let yourself take time to accept this new worldview and new information. Once you reach acceptance, life is much easier, and you can finally start to use evolutionary psychology to get what you want in the world. And make yourself feel better because you now know how to live in such a way that satisfies your masculine or feminine subconscious, as all your needs are being met. All your physiological internal needs are being met. Your genetic needs, your biological needs, okay? Therefore, follow me, and I will get you to a state of certainty in time. Promise.